Can you now get non-dom status in Cyprus even without being present on the island at all? Whether that's really possible and what might be changing now, you'll find out in this video. Hello and welcome. My name is Florian Wilk. I have been the managing director of CMC in Larnaca, Cyprus for 15 years, and I apologize for my outfit today. There's a brand new update, which is why I'm reaching out via video even on a Sunday. At least soon it will be on a Sunday. And it's about the significant fact that the legislator has introduced a new draft for some comprehensive tax law changes, and among other important things, this particular proposal explicitly states that the non-dom status should no longer depend solely on the 60 days, but above all should be primarily based on substantial economic interests and active economic activities within the Republic of Cyprus. This means that in the future, it may well be that the legislator says, we no longer want you to prove the 60 days, but it's enough for us if you have your business, your economic interests on the island. This means you set up a company in Cyprus, employ yourself in this company, and of course run your business with this company. And the details of this are not yet finalized. And then it's quite possible that the legislator will say that the 60 days are no longer important to us. We might not even need this proof of stay anymore. So it's quite interesting that these proposals exist. None of this is set in stone yet. We'll have to wait and see how the legislator actually implements it. There will definitely be a reform. There will be some adjustments. For the most part, in fact, for large parts, to the benefit of the taxpayer. The legislator in Cyprus is very, very good at creating laws that are, on the one hand, in line with European and international law, but on the other hand, are also genuinely interesting and advantageous for the taxpayer, for expats, for digital nomads. So one can really be curious about this, about what the legislator will ultimately come up with and how the various proposals will be implemented. But I can very well imagine that something will actually happen in this direction. Nevertheless, even from a German or Austrian perspective, it is of course always extremely important that if you become tax resident somewhere else in the world, such as for example in Cyprus, that you have a residence, that you have a tax number, that your center of life is there. And of course that you also have this at your new place of residence. And I'm also not a big fan of these digital nomad setups, because there are often problems with the former home country or with banks and brokers, and generally with determining the tax residency of the taxpayer. And in order to simply rule out any problems from the outset, it makes a lot of sense to establish some kind of connection to your new country of residence, whether that's Cyprus or another country, instead of just saying, hey, I have a company there now, so that's enough for me, and that's why I'm tax resident there. It's not quite that simple. By the way, we also have checklists that we provide. With these checklists, you'll really be able to check for yourself based on 15 or 20 points whether you meet the requirements that truly matter. This is, of course, about giving up your residence in your home country, about the substance of your company, but also about your center of life. That you have a real connection to the respective country, in most cases Cyprus, because to be clear, Cyprus is simply the most attractive country from a tax perspective. And when it comes to lifestyle and emigrating, it's this combination of safety, English as the main language, accessibility, 3.5 hours by plane, stability, the Anglo-Saxon legal system, the mentality of the tax authorities, the tax rates in general, and then also the quality of life, the climate, the real estate, the availability of property, and affordable housing. So it's this whole mix. It's what makes Cyprus extremely interesting, extremely exciting, you have to say. And that's why, from my personal perspective, it's the #1 choice for emigrating. It doesn't have to be your only country of residence. You can combine it with others. We see this very often as well, that people have their tax residence in Cyprus, but maybe also a secondary residence in the Emirates or in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Indonesia, or even Brazil, South Africa, Spain, Italy. We see these kinds of arrangements very, very often, of course. And it's also very, very exciting to take a closer look at this in detail. And if you're interested in emigrating to Cyprus or optimizing your taxes, you are very welcome to book a free, no obligation initial consultation. You'll find a link below the video. Feel free to choose an appointment, and then we can very soon discuss and review your personal setup and situation. So I want to sincerely thank you for your attention. Of course, I'll keep you updated on the topic of non-dom and the connection between non-dom status and physical presence in Cyprus. You'll, of course, be kept informed on this channel, so please don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up. Thank you so much again, and I wish you all the best. Yours, Florian Wilk.